Yo, what's up? It's Breakstuff. We have a live studio audience tonight. Carson and Nimrod. Yay, white people.
Oh, I'm not happy about that.
Oh yeah, we've so guys, as you can see, there's no. It's like brown people tonight.
Yeah.
What the hell is up with that?
It's minority hour.
Welcome to Ali Tahir, who just moved to LA. He also almost died. Ali is a friend of mine from Berkeley.
How that your friends? When?
Oh, are we? Are we not?
I no.
But I saw it here. What?
Where'd you get that from?
When you know.
Okay. I didn't realize that. Was
Okay,
what made us
yeah.
friends.
I mean, we played together on stage, couple of times. Ali Tahir, experiment project thing. Orchestra. Fuck. He's got like 25 members or some shit, and other band Voodoo Baby.
Did you do any research?
Yeah. Do you? This is why I question our friendship. Do you?
Okay,
Do
I
you know
did.
anything I do?
No,
Okay.
I know you have an explosive personality.
Oh, yeah. True. Yeah.
Right. So Ali, for the sake of the viewers,
The two of them.
the four of
Oh,
four,
not bad.
fuck you.
Not bad.
Four. Tell us about who you are.
I don't even know the answer to that myself.
Where are you from?
Where am I from? You knew that. Long story. I was born in Saudi Arabia to Pakistani parents. I left Saudi Arabia when I was 7 years old, moved to Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, and have been, well, not so much Dubai, more so Saudi Arabia. And I spent the rest of my life in Dubai until I moved to Boston for college in 2020.
Where did we meet?
We met in Boston. I think you were one of the first people I met in Boston.
Yeah, dude, you were like, what instrument do you play? I'm like, guitar. What kind of music? I'm like, prog. I'm like, yeah, let's form a band. There's like 6 guitarists in this group now.
Sure. And we never formed a band.
We never did, but you formed your own group. I got my own group. We played some shit.
I would call what I did shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I was in the group with Carson.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
We were on stage with you. After you, actually.
After
remember?
me. Yes, I remember. And well, I actually remember the name of your band, unlike you remembering mine. Laka Damon.
That's not even...
You can if you name your band something that's really shitty to pronounce, I'm gonna pronounce it really badly.
Listen, fuck you, Anthony Roccazella, for naming the band like that.
No, don't fuck that man. I love him. Well, do fuck him, but
Consensually.
yes, as in like a friendly tap.
Oh, like well,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. We've done it.
Only twice though,
Oh,
which is sad.
I'm sorry. All right, can you? What is the sound of the Ali Tahir Orchestra?
Schizophrenia, I guess.
So it's heavy.
It's heavy. It's heavy music. At times, it's a little bit more closer to prog rock. When I started it, it's because I didn't have an outlet to explore everything that I wanted to do musically, which is I am a huge classical nerd. I love
I know.
classical music in all its forms, especially more modern stuff. I really enjoy jazz big band.
Yes, sir.
And I really like heavy metal and heavy guitars and gent. And so I decided that there's not really a band on earth that does film music, jazz, noir-esque heavy metal, progressive metal. And so I would describe it like if Snarky Puppy did heavy metal with Bernard Herrmann style string writing.
And if every one of those guys sucked.
Yes. Okay. My other band is the one where we had the good musicians. This
Dude,
is a joke.
Are you kidding me? You guys sounded so good.
Thank
Because
you.
we were watching from the green room and we were like, God damn, Ali, I didn't know you wrote songs like that. Fuck. Okay. How many members were in that band, in that orchestra?
Okay, 4 strings, 4 horns, 5-piece rhythm section. What's that math? 13? 14 people? 13. Is that good math?
I mean,
8 plus 5 is 13.
it is 13.
I should be better at math given where I'm from, but
No, you're not that kind of Asian, bro.
my parents are Pakistani.
Yeah, no, that's like spicy Asian, not math Asian.
Have you
Spicy-
have you seen the demographics of MIT?
Okay, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. Harvard to an extent too.
Well, not to an extent, definitely. I
A
mean,
lot.
our prime minister in Pakistan, we only picked him because he went to Oxford. And he plays good cricket.
He says our prime minister in Pakistan.
Yeah,
This guy has a Canadian passport.
I don't know where I'm from, Andy. Andy,
Crimea River. Oh.
yeah, you know what your culture is. You know where you're from. You don't sound like hey, my name's James. How can I help you today? I look like tech support, but sound like customer service.
Good morning, I am Ali. How may I help you?
How may I help you?
How may I
Like that,
help you?
I look like tech support.
Yeah, well,
And yeah,
you are kind of tech support too.
I am very tech
The
savvy,
first time
so-
I tried an Ebo was with you.
Oh, wow. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
I've been dying to try one, and you were like, "Yeah, have one." So I'm like, "Can I try it?" And you were like, "Yeah."
It's sick,
So,
isn't it?
I just love it.
It's the best
It's
thing
just
ever.
I don't have money to buy it.
Well, we
yeah.
both know that's a lie.
That's not a lie.
Oh.
Anyway, back to speaking of money, because you were like, "All right, 13 members
13
in
members.
Ali Tahir's orchestra."
Yes.
My next question, like, "Oh shit, payroll must be a bitch," but I'm like, "Oh, but nobody's getting paid, so it's fine."
Well, actually, so when we did the music festival, this is why I will never, I think, well, I shouldn't say never. I really prefer now doing a smaller sized ensemble
Mhm.
because we did a music festival where that I started in Boston called Boston Progressive Jazz Festival. Very successful. We filled the entire room. Arts at the Armory in Somerville filled the entire room. We had 5 bands. One of the artists was a solo pianist, and we decided to split the earnings from that by each band gets the same amount of money.
Okay.
So I chose to
Oh, so with you, it's
so
like
with us, like I chose to, we got like I think in total we earned like $3,000 or something off of
for
that,
the whole thing.
for the whole thing, and each one of my band members only got paid $40. I didn't get any money from this. I actually lost money on this. Whereas that pianist got like $500
Just for that one
just for
performance.
that one performance where like it's just her singing and playing piano. She's amazing. She deserves it. She's like an incredible musician.
Yeah, but like, there's a lot of moving parts. The more
A lot
members
of-
you
yeah,
have,
and, yeah,
you know,
and it's like the stress. Like,
dude, rehearsals must have been a nightmare.
oh yeah, I would that like I lost a lot of sleep.
18 members. It's like one of you doesn't come. It's like, oh shit.
Well, you know, luckily if a string player didn't show up, we could still rehearse.
Yeah.
But like if the drummer couldn't make it, which you know, like that would suck. And like the other thing is that as an arranger, the best thing you can do is hear your arrangement performed at you multiple times.
Yeah.
So when I was rehearsing, it was very little about how can I play the music, and it was entirely okay. I'm gonna focus in on the strings this run through and see how intonation is sounding and how does the dynamic balance? Like the horns are way louder in general, and are they hearing that? Do the horn players know that they're overpowering the strings? And those dynamics are incredibly difficult to do unless you have everybody there. So like it was very common that people were playing their parts, but intricacies of like the horn players right now are playing a background like horn texture and the strings are playing the melody. And even if all 4 of them play the melody, one saxophone can outblow them. Like okay. But that's
what saxophonists do. They blow.
They blow. They blow a lot.
Yeah.
And so just that like intricacy of that you can't really do unless you have a significant amount of rehearsal time. Of college students who really, a lot of them don't care about the music because they're not metalheads. A lot of them, and the ones that do, they're really busy. Like
Because they're in like 5 other bands. or
5 other
whatever.
bands,
Yeah.
and like the saxophonist and pianist that I was playing with, Juanito and Pablo,
Yeah.
like literally the best musicians in the country. Like they're insane. I mean, Pablo auditioned for Herbie Hancock.
Yeah.
She's like, you know,
Yeah. I know. I remember Juanito saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm not into metal anyways."
yeah, he's not into metal.
But you kind of do it. But it's kind of like it's spaced out, right? In a way that when it does come, it's interesting.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I had the same experience with Last Demon when we were writing the songs. It was all in Guitar Pro, right? Everything was transcribed. Everything.
Right.
Yeah, nerds. We were. That's so. The way Carson wrote his parts was where like he's like, "Can you export me the MIDI and give me the PDF?" So we gave him everything, like because he time signatures, all the notes and shit, MIDI. And when we started rehearsing the songs, actually playing the music, I was so happy because I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm seeing our creation, take its own form." And I'm like, yeah, I told you, I told Carson, like, dude, this makes me so happy. I'm like, oh, this is what it sounds like when real people play it. And I'm like, nice. So I get it, but it was 4 of us, so there wasn't much like, is this instrument overpowering this instrument?
Sure.
Right? And it's like in a metal setting, in a more traditional metal setting, you got this huge distorted guitars. I mean, you could still manipulate it dynamically. You can palm mutes, hitting them less, hitting them harder, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like your orchestra where
Sure.
it's like there's horns, there's strings, there's like a pianist, there's that metal core, you know. So yeah, that must have been hard to direct.
It was hard. I mean, inevitably, like undeniably, if I had the opportunity, and this was in a college is a different experience. If this was in a professional capacity, where I am,
where you were signing contracts,
and where I'm getting like government funding or something from the Canadian government, because that's a thing I can get. God bless Canada. I love you, Ontario. Yeah, like, and in that kind of circumstance, I think this is one of the most fulfilling things you can do as a musician. Is I think metal as a canvas is one of the most blank canvases there is, because of how much opportunity you have,
so much freedom
to do literally anything. Like Between the Buried and Me, proves to you that you can write clown music with distorted guitars and people will love it. And prog metal is one of the most there's sounds that people try to copy. Like a lot of people want to sound like Dream Theater. A lot of people want to sound like Periphery.
Who are those people?
I would consider you to be one of them. But there's in that space, that canvas, there are so many more tools afforded to you.
Absolutely, yeah.
When you break from the mold of the metal quintet, and not saying that can't be amazing and incredibly expressive.
Absolutely, yeah.
That is incredibly expressive, and electric guitar as a medium for making noise is almost as diverse as a synthesizer with what you can get with a metal guitar player, because the sounds that are acceptable in metal are unlimited.
Yeah.
And when you get those acoustic instruments, it's very interesting that the limitations of things that are not amplified change how you write amplified parts. So you'll see,
you gotta take care of, so you don't overpower the dry instruments.
The dry thing. And you get into this question of the notion of timbre and texture. Because in a normal metal ensemble, the way that we write for metal, the guitar and bass are really the same texture. Sometimes they will diverge, and the guitar will do something.
Well, it depends on the parts.
Depends on the parts, but the core of what makes a metal sound, why Iron Maiden sounds like Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath sounds like Black Sabbath, is the guitars double each other, and that sounds super thick with the bass. And the kick drum usually is doing the same thing, and that core is incredibly powerful. Now, when you have other instruments, now you can actually create textural variation while keeping with that core metal idea. So one of my favorite parts is in a song of ours called Surprise Cavity Search. Based on my experiences in the JFK New York airport.
Oh!
Yeah.
I love how we synced up on that, dude.
They're in sync. And my favorite part of that entire thing is that there's a chuggy section at the end.
Did they chug your ass?
They did chug my ass a little bit. One person, I should say. It wasn't multiple. Thankfully, that would have been uncomfortable. It was fairly romantic.
He secretly enjoyed it, guys.
When did I ever make that a secret?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's hence the...
Exactly. That's why we connected so well in the first place.
We did connect.
A lot of connection there.
Yeah.
But that, in that part of that song, I can now take the metal core, the metal core, but
the metal that
what
is
makes
the core.
The metal sound the metal sound of chugging, and I can have strings do something I have them play Bernard Herrmann horror techniques, and I have the horns overblow. That's what horns do. They blow. That's the mechanism that they make sound with.
Horny blow?
Horny blow. But that textural variation is so incredibly freeing that if I had that opportunity again, I would do it in a heartbeat.
That's why there's a lot of symphonic metal bands out there.
Yeah,
it works, dude.
It does. I will.
No, but you're taking it in a different direction. I'm not saying you're following this formula.
Sure.
It's just that because you're introducing classical elements like opera, orchestra, you know, all those elements in metal. I mean, I've been arguing since day one that metal's it's the closest form of contemporary music to classical. I would argue. That's why it kind of works well. But you take it to a different kind of direction.
Yeah.
Because it's not just classical. It's not just metal. There's jazz in there too.
Oh, tons.
I mean, dude, prog metal is basically like, you know, jazz and metal. I mean, that's kind of prog, right?
So yeah, I mean, prog metal sounds to me like if Herbie Hancock had access to 8-string guitars.
Yeah, which you're Strandberg.
Strandberg, yeah. Well, I play 7-string mostly, but
wait. Oh wait, your Strandberg
my
was
Strandberg
7?
is a
Oh,
7
it's
string.
your Schecter that was
My
the 8.
Schecter is
Yeah.
8-string, yeah.
Peter had the 8-string Strandberg
Which was beautiful.
because I ordered it for him.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
you being a good friend.
Being a good dealer.
Oh,
What?
you deal?
Yeah, guitars.
Oh, I got excited.
And back when the PS5s were in short supply,
Oh,
I was a
look at you.
PS5 dealer.
PS5 dealer.
But that's a story for another day. Anyway, can you tell us more about the other band, Voodoo Baby Aliens?
Oh God. Okay, Voodoo Baby Aliens is. I said schizophrenia.
Mhm.
Voodoo Baby Aliens is like really schizophrenic. Voodoo Baby Aliens, like when we talk about the band, we call it jazz punk.
Okay, which is like metal adjacent.
Kinda. I mean, we have metal breakdowns.
There's heavy shit. I've
heavy
also seen you play in that band
Yes.
right before I got COVID. But
I remember that.
Yeah.
And you know that one actually has music out, which is cool. Is very complex because song by song the genre changes completely. So we have a song that's going to be coming out very soon called Johnny, which is very much punk. Like it is a punk song, but it's got like jazz horns.
I mean, it's the same direction as the orchestra, right?
That one is closer. It's still very different because that one is, I mean, all the music is written by a pianist, and so like whereas Thick Orchestra is very guitaristically driven with, I will say intricate. It's not hard, but like intricate guitar parts that are where you're moving around.
It's pretty hard if you play it with other people. You gotta
you have to be fairly tight. Whereas Voodoo doesn't have hard guitar parts like at all.
but it's heavy though.
It's very heavy, and hard doesn't mean good, right?
Yeah,
I think that this is very well written guitar music. But like the way that we envision the way guitar works is it's less of a we have 3 guitarists in Voodoo, and so one guitarist can form like the foundational rhythm.
Yep.
Which would be Yakov, and he has an excellent like right hand.
Did you experience the right hand firsthand?
No, he used his left with me usually.
Oh, he used. Thank you, studio.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, like, so I actually in that band would treat the guitar like a synthesizer more than anything, doing like really weird effects. This is why I like digital. Is per song I could rewire what the effects were doing, and I could have my expression pedal in one patch change delay time, whereas in another patch it would be affecting reverb amount, distortion amount, and all these things at the same time.
Could you imagine all the hate you're gonna get from purists?
Oh God!
Like,
well,
the old people.
I think if
analog all the way.
If old people hate what you're doing, I think you're doing something important.
Yeah, because you're kind of going into uncharted territory. But I'm not saying digital is uncharted territory.
It's not. It's not.
It's just like you're with the times.
You're with the times, and digital, especially nowadays, is not uncharted territory. Like Neural DSP is like.
Dude, fucking Nimrod and I rock QC Quad Cortex.
Oh, beautiful! Yeah.
We love it, man.
It's amazing.
I stopped using amps since I got that fucking thing.
Of course. Why would you need an amp?
Because it feels the same. It sounds the same. I'm sorry, old folks, but.
I mean, even if it didn't, like, if you think about what you gain from having the variety,
absolutely,
over how, like, okay, maybe it doesn't sound like a JCM 800, but like now I'm not restricted to only using a JCM 800 when I play live.
You've got like 50 amps to choose from.
50 amps, and like,
if you're not satisfied with that, you can clone amps. That's what I did with Ricky Groppi. Hello, man, what's up?
What a legend.
So when I first got my QC, I'm like, hey, can I go to your place and help me set this up? He's like, absolutely, come on over. So we did. We set some stuff up. He actually made my first patch for me just to show me how it works.
Amazing.
And in that patch, he cloned his personal JP2C
Mm-hmm.
to his settings, the one we agreed on, and he cloned his overdrive pedal to settings that him and I both like. So can you imagine the power
Yeah.
you have with cloning equipment? Basically, the possibilities are endless.
I mean,
And we A/B'd the thing too.
yeah.
So like, okay, A real amp, B quad cortex, same.
Exactly.
It felt the same too, man.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm a fanboy now.
You should be. I mean, like, I think that in general, the technology we have access to determines how we write.
Yep.
The more variety of things that you have at your fingertips, you are naturally going to incorporate a greater variety of things in your writing process. It's why, like, I am now really getting into modular synthesis because I want to create a workflow that is completely separate from a computer.
Okay.
I want to be able to just twist knobs and have interesting sounds come out. Ideally, I would like that to
So now you're a DJ.
Kinda. Except I don't know how to write music that will be commercially successful in any capacity.
Oh, don't worry. The shit we're writing now with Anthony,
Mm.
Nimrod said, "Oh, so you've decided on not getting paid ever." So we're like, yeah, 7/8 over 9/8 will get you not paid.
Tool manages.
We're not Tool.
Yeah.
Also, it takes a specific kind of market.
You need to be alive at a time when LSD is very popular to make odd time
That's
signatures
true.
work.
That's true. Or, guitar or music nerdery is at an all-time high.
I would say that, like, with YouTube now,
Oh yeah,
guitar nerdery is, like, fairly, like...
with the advent of guys like Tim Henson,
Yeah, Tim Henson is really...
Tosin Abasi.
Oh, dude.
God damn,
What a
that's
legend.
Fucking, dude, I saw him when they opened for Dream Theater last summer.
Mm.
Dude, I shit my pants.
Of course.
I felt so scared because I'm like, how am I gonna nail that?
You're not.
Yeah,
You're
I'm like,
not.
who? Can I just quit?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the interesting thing of, like, when I started playing guitar, my guitar heroes were, like, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, and
Oh
John
yeah,
Petrucci,
same.
right?
Yeah.
But then, like, as soon as because they're playing guitar in a way that is natural to how we learn to play the instrument,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not nowhere near as good as they are, obviously.
Yeah.
But then as soon as Tosin shows up and he's doing the thumping
Yeah.
and selective picking stuff,
Yeah.
I genuinely just cannot process just it's incredibly innovative of a way to think of the instrument. I mean, thank you, Reggie Wooten, for showing that.
Dude, I was thinking when Tosin came onto the scene and people were like, "Whoa, shit!" I'm like, this must be how our parents felt when EVH came out.
Mm.
You're like, how the fuck do you even? I don't know.
I don't
Or
think
like
my
guys like
parents
Yngwie
felt
right?
anything.
No, like, can you imagine like people from that time?
Yeah,
in the
oh,
80s,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, we're coming out of Jimmy Page,
Yeah.
and then somebody like Yngwie comes out, EVH.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, holy, what the fuck? I think that's what we're seeing now.
I honestly think it's even more extreme. I think that
Well,
like
yes, because with every generation, we
yeah.
start from a more technical starting point, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because we're standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah. Oh, look at you.
So this is what's happening.
This is what's happening.
This is our generation's EVH,
Well-
our generation's Yngwie, whatever.
Yngwie.
Yeah.
Like, the way that I like to think about it is, like, if you think about how much someone, like a great scientist 1,000 years ago knew, a kid in high school maybe doesn't know the details about anything.
But they know.
But they're aware of everything that person would have contributed and what 1,000 years more of scientific contribution has led to.
Yeah.
So that now when you think of someone who works at, like, UCLA at the, like, what is it, the LIGO Observatory? Is that the one that does gravitational waves?
No fucking clue, man.
Sorry, I'm a nerd. But that person, like, it's almost to say, like, the ceiling becomes lower every generation. Or the foundations become higher. It's one of those two.
It's
right?
the foundation that
the
becomes
foundations
higher.
become higher. The ceiling actually
Ceiling
does
goes
get
up.
It goes up.
Yeah.
But I think the foundation gets improves faster than the ceiling does.
Yeah, like, remember when Galileo said the sun was the center of the solar system?
I mean, I don't personally remember. I wasn't alive.
He fucking got into trouble with
Oh,
that.
yes.
Oh, holy shit.
I mean, they burnt his house.
I mean,
right?
but now it's like common knowledge, except maybe for the Trumpies. I don't know.
Well,
they gotta recycle, you know, because to take care of this Earth, this flat Earth.
flat Earth. God damn it. Well, that's the thing is like this is a pretty extreme view I have. If something is widely practiced by people that are let's say 50 and above, I inherently look at that with a little bit of skepticism.
Yeah.
And if something is widely practiced by whatever is like 18 to 25, I'm immediately a little bit friendlier to it because I know that their starting point
It's
is
from a higher
way
point.
higher,
Yeah.
especially with internet. Like
Yeah.
our starting point compared to our parents was astronomically higher.
Oh, it's a quantum leap.
It's like not even close, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And as you know, as more and more generations are becoming more internet savvy, and more importantly, they have the tools to dissect what is actual information on the internet and what is like
What's misinformation? What is not information? Yeah.
and that's slowly being introduced into public school curriculum.
Because you need it. You need to adapt.
You need to
the
adapt.
times.
And so I'm
Yeah.
like afraid of how smart those kids are going to be. That
And
have the
we're gonna
tools-
look dumb.
We're gonna look stupid. I mean, we probably already do. We're
Yeah,
musicians, so
Oh,
we
yeah.
definitely do.
Yeah.
But you know, like, and when that and the way that works in music, I find is so interesting because you have modern arrangers that are capable in such a wide variety of genres and styles, and are incorporating sounds like 808s in jazz. Like you have Robert Glasper producing. Who did he produce a Kendrick song? I think Robert
I'm
Glasper.
not sure. I'm not one for mainstream. I'm sorry.
Well, Robert Glasper, I wouldn't call mainstream.
No, but like I know who he is, but
Right.
like,
But like I'm saying, like the cross pollination now you see of
oh
what
yeah,
people are
yeah,
capable
yeah,
of.
yeah.
Like I mean, Polyphia is a good example of electronic techniques and like production.
It's like shred techniques on hip hop style kind of. I respect the shit out of them.
Yeah,
but I just can't get into the sound of it. I'm sorry.
no, that's fine. I mean, you can have your own aesthetic preferences.
Objectively, they're fucking monsters, man. They're
Objectively.
fucking good.
And I find it interesting. Like I think that's to me is why. I mean, I also aesthetically am less inclined towards that. But you know, just it's insane that what we're seeing now musically. I think when people talk about music getting worse, I think they're idiots.
Oh, 'cause
Genuinely,
it's listening to top 40. I mean, yeah,
Well, yeah, but
that's
top 40.
worse.
When has the top 40 ever been good?
In the 60s,
Mm.
good-ish.
Doo-wop? You think doo-wop was
Hey,
excellent?
hey, in today's standards,
Okay, listen. Like when you talk about top 40s, and you think about like Billie Eilish when she broke the
she's
top
not
40,
the worst.
I wouldn't. But I mean, if you think
She's
about how
okay.
innovative Phineas's production was, that was really pushing boundaries. You know what was top 40 a while ago? Dubstep.
Oh yeah, in the 2010s.
2010s,
I
right?
remember. Yeah,
And how innovative that was, and how much that pushed production. I think like one of the main things that people are not great at when it comes to dissecting the trends of popular music is that when we look back, we're gonna remember the things that were the best of the best, right? The best of the bunch. And so that's happening with the 2000s. Like when I think back to the 2000s, my brain in its pattern-seeking behavior goes, music was better back then because we had like Toxic by Britney Spears.
Bro, every generation is like that.
Well, yes, but I'm now learning that what's happening actually is that I'm just not, because I don't engage with what is available now whatsoever. I'm not really familiar. Like apparently Chappelle Roan is huge right now. I've never heard anything by her.
Who the fuck?
Exactly. But like, you know, like I genuinely think the trend in music and even top 40 is that of innovation. But I think it's more helpful to look at music rather than as not the top 40. Because if you think about how we act as consumers, the consumers of top 40 do not listen to music for the same reasons as most other people.
It's mostly like background noise.
I mean, even it's like,
Some of 'em.
Well, you know, like background noise, but it's also things like it's escapism. It's like what a blockbuster movie is.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah.
You know, Fast and Furious is not a great film.
No, it's.
I love watching it because when I go, I forget about
It's
everything
like
else.
eating fast food.
It's like eating fast food. And that's not to say there's not merit. I think there's extremely hardworking,
Yeah.
talented, artistically genius people working in that sphere.
Technologically.
Technologically extremely innovative. However, I think it's more helpful to look at the 20th century as the 21st century as being something where we have the greatest variety of styles of music that are widely consumed. Like you have people that listen to so much different music that much of which is incredibly innovative, brilliant stuff. And that to me is the trend that I love. I think that access and what access and technology does is not detrimental simply because of the amount of variety that it creates. Now, like you look at computer music being the thing that was controversial a while ago, be like, oh, why would you produce music on a computer? What has that allowed us to do is incredible. You and I can write albums now without having
at home,
right? And that access, sure, we'll get a few like people who really aren't making great music that now have the capability to do so.
I mean, it's you're saying like because of access, which is a consequence of technology, right? I think it's enriching what people have access to or consume musically, but I think it's making there's downsides to it too.
Sure,
attention span is down,
right?
A lot of people make shit on their computer that sounds like shit because it's too dependent on technology.
Sure.
It sucks. So yes, access I think is a double-edged sword.
Sure.
It's good for you discovering new musical boundaries. It's bad when people, just like, oh, I can use Apple Loops. I'm a musician now.
Right.
So there's a lot of them.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
But do you think that those people who are doing that are harming the music industry?
Perhaps indirectly. Indirectly, maybe.
I mean, this is up for debate completely. I don't have any.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, but I think not directly, because I don't see them, garnering a lot of success. But these days, man, I don't know. The bar is set very low.
The bar has also gone incredibly high
For other music. Well, not for like the mainstream, right? I mean, it's like a factory now,
right? But
there's this formula. Let's follow the formula. We just gotta make money on this. I don't give a shit if it's good.
Well, I mean, I would argue that if something is widely that people can listen, a lot of people can listen to something and enjoy something, it is good. Maybe not to you and I. I really personally appreciate people who push boundaries in anything. But does that make it not good? Like, is McDonald's bad because a lot of people enjoy it?
Yeah. No, but if you wanted to like push culinary arts, right, then it's not good.
Right, but like
but not everybody wants to do that.
Well, that's why I think that what happens in the culinary world is a good example of a lot of people. The reason McDonald's is so successful is they just want a cheeseburger. You and I might want to go to Wolfgang Puck's new restaurant because we want to see what his take on German food is.
Yeah.
That's also a question of we were raised in fairly wealthy.
Yeah. Better luck in the next life.
But like there's that of like whole like, I think it comes from a place of privilege to be able to engage with arts with the mindset of I want to push it forward.
Yeah.
And I want to hear because a lot of people are dealing with so many factors in their life that make it difficult to take that time to appreciate art. If you are, like a teen parent, a single teen parent of a child, and you need to go to work, and you need 2 jobs to sustain yourself, and you need to send your child to school and all that stuff, I really don't think you're going to care about Mahler's Fifth. You don't have the time, and of course you don't. Like, we don't live in a society that makes it I honestly believe that if you want the arts to succeed, you have to invest in the things around art to give people the time to invest and make art.
Yeah.
That's I think what is healthiest for art.
Absolutely. And I guess we can end this episode with that.
Sure.
Thanks for coming over.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll have you in another one with Carson next.
Oh no.
I don't think he can support this kind of conversation because he's a drummer.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
Q end.